Hiya! So it is the start of March. It's actually the 2nd. I had been going to film this yesterday, but my week went completely wrong. So there we go. So it is time to do a bit of a reset, ready for the month. Now, if you are subscribed to my channel, you might notice that this is the first video, in fact, since my February reset. February was, it was a tough month. There were lots of little things that made it difficult, members of the family being ill, and I got quite stressed with a few things. So it's fine, but I am definitely going to look at ways to be a bit more intentional with my content for March to make sure that I still have that outlet. I can still, talk about books that I love, have the creative side on Instagram and things like that. But yeah, so I have updated my journal with my figures for February. So let's go through my key goals. So as a reminder, or for the first time if you're new here, I have got 5 main goals for reading this year. They are read 100 books in the year, read at least 2 Sapphic books a month, read at least 3 BIPOC books a month, reduce my physical TBR, and finish more series than I start. So some of those are a bit more ambitious than others, but let's take a look at how my numbers were this month. So this month, despite it being the shortest month of the year, although longer than your average February, I actually read 13 books, which I think is more a sign that I was hiding in books than anything positive, if we're honest. So that is obviously more than the 8.5 that is required to get me to 100 for the year. And actually it means between January and February I have now read 25 books. So if I continued at this pace, I would read 150 books, which would be the most I've ever read in a year. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen, because I feel that would mean I've neglected something else in my life. So then for read 2 Sapphic books a month, this month I actually read 4. They were really great. I love them all in very different ways. I definitely had a mix. I'll try and do a full wrap up for all my February reads, because there were some that were absolutely wild, and definitely 2 of the Sapphic books that I read I would count in the wild end of all the books I read. So then I had to read at least 3 BIPOC books in the month, and I read 5, same as in January. Because of how I've been feeling in February, I have just been giving myself a bit more license to read the books that feel good. So I've not necessarily looked at the diversity spread or anything like that. So that is something that I will start to look at a bit more, to just try and be a bit more intentional and make sure that I'm not just kind of reading the same few authors again and again. But yeah, definitely happy with that one. Reducing my physical TBR is actually, I'm really impressed with how that's gone this month. So at the start of the year, I had 58 owned and read books on my shelves, my beautiful shelves that you can see behind me. And I'm now down to 53. So it went down by 2 this month, which doesn't sound a lot, except I bought 4 books. So I'll get to my book haul in a minute. So I read 6 of the 13 books that I read were from my shelves. So I'm very happy with that. And then finally we have got finish more series than I start. And I had an incredible month for that. So both at the start of the year and the end of January, I had 38 ongoing series. Whoops. And I did start a new series this month, so that took my count up. But there were actually 5 series that I either completed or caught up on this month. 5. So I'm now down to 34, which is still a lot. It's still, like, for most people would be panic zones. But I can't believe that somehow in a month of absolute chaos, that was where I got to. So yeah, very happy with that. In terms of the focus series that I have got, so these are the 3 series where I've got quite a few books left to read and I just kind of want to concentrate on them. We have got the Texas Sirens and Bliss series, wherever we're going with that, from Lexi Blake. And I did read the next one of those. I'd been putting it off for ages. I hadn't read it in January because I'd just been like, oh, I'm not in the mood. And I was there again. My daughter actually teased me because I said to her, oh, I'm picking this up because I've been putting it off for ages. I don't think I'm in the right mood, but whatever, we're just going to go with it. And she said to me, oh, I look forward to talking to you tomorrow about how much you're loving it. And yeah, she was right. I pretty much stayed up half the night reading, and then when I woke up the next day, I carried on reading. So that was quite funny. But yeah, in terms of the other series, we've got the Mercy Thompson Universe by Patricia Briggs. So I read the one of those that I had in that. And then the Salacious Players Club series. So there was a slight accident there. I did pick up the book to read. Had it on my bedside table, and then I ended up not reading anything for some reason that night. I think I went to bed quite late. Unfortunately, in the middle of the night, I then spilled an entire glass of water. So yeah, this is what the book now looks like now that it's dried out. It's crispy. It's just destroyed basically. So yeah, I'm probably going to get myself a new copy of this before I read it because I think it's just going to make me sad if I try and read it like this. If I'm honest, I will try and rehome this because, like, for somebody who doesn't care about the fact that the paper's really thin and crinkly, it's still perfectly good. All the pages are separate. So I will probably try and rehome it to someone who doesn't mind as much. But I just don't think my brain can cope with it like this. So yeah, I need to replace this at some point. So that's where we are with that one. So like I mentioned, I got 4 books last month, 4 physical books. There was the one that I had mentioned, Resonance Surge, which I had pre-ordered to get this version. Now I'm not gonna lie, I actually cancelled my pre-order and re-got it from somewhere else because I'd originally pre-ordered it from Amazon, which I don't like doing generally, but when you're trying to get the US covers, you're kind of limited in the UK where you can order from. And then they sent me an email the day it was due to be dispatched saying that it would be dispatched sometime between April and August, which, yeah, not happy. So I cancelled my order, and then I found that Blackwell's actually had this edition in, so I ordered from them instead, and I got it 2 days later, so I was very happy with that. And yes, of course, I have already read it because I was so excited. So this is one of the series that I marked as caught up on. They've actually just done the cover reveal in the last week for the next book, Primal Mirror, I think it's called. And oh, it looks so good. I'm really excited for that one already. And then I broke my book buying ban. But it was intentional. And I thought about it for a few days in terms of what I wanted to buy, to make sure that I wasn't just randomly buying books. So I did put in a pre-order for Ruby Rose House of Crimson Hearts. I had initially thought that that was going to go on to KU, but then when I found out it wasn't, I thought I may as well just pre-order the paperback straight. Kind of go all in straight away. So I haven't received that one yet, so it's not added to my account, but it was kind of a buying ban break. But the other 3 books that I ordered have arrived, which is the next 3 books in the Mercyverse. So there is Burn Bright, which is an Alpha and Omega book, and you may have noticed I started reading yesterday. Then there is Storm Cursed, which is the next in the Mercy Thompson series. And then Smoke Bitten, which is also in the Mercy Thompson series, because the two series kind of intertwine, and that's where I'm reading them. So yeah, no regrets. I'm still kind of informally calling it a book buying ban. It's more like, it's definitely an intentional thing. So I'm not randomly buying books, but also I'm not stopping myself when, you know, there's a series that I want to continue or something like that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that all round. In terms of March, so obviously I have got that Ruby Row pre-order that will probably arrive at some point, hopefully. And then the only release, as far as I know, that is on my radar for March is, what's it called? The Witch Queen of Halloween, which is by Kresley Cole and is the next Immortals After Dark book. And this will be my first time being able to read an Immortals After Dark book around release. So I'm very excited for that. I haven't got it pre-ordered or anything, but I will definitely be getting that one when that releases. So yeah, very excited there. So other books on my TBR for March. This is actually going to look a little bit different for me. So I have obviously been pulling some books off my shelf to kind of give me a prompt TBR for the month. And I will still have some around. So I have still got leftover on my shelves. These two from last month. Midnight Ruin actually from January, but I'm a bit more convinced now I'm going to be in the mood for it soon. And yeah, then The Warrior King by Abigail Owen as well. Then we've also got Mercy when I replace the book. So those are on there. And then obviously I'm currently reading Burn Bright. And we'll then have a look at possibly like the next Mercy book, depending on timings. But my big thing for this month is Kindle Unlimited. So I have been on like a 3 months of free Kindle Unlimited because I had to replace my Kindle last year. And that runs out on the 8th of April. So, and I've cancelled it. So it's not going to renew at that point. So I have currently got 7 books from Kindle Unlimited downloaded onto my Kindle that I haven't yet read. So I just want to make sure that I do read those. So I have managed to read 2 in the last week from the list, so we're getting there. But yeah, it does mean that I probably won't be reading as many physical books this month, just because I'm going to have those to read. So yeah, I think in terms of physical TBR, I mean, again, like half the books I read last month weren't on my pile. I even amusingly did read the book that I took off my pile this time last month. So yeah, my pile's pretty much going to look the same as last month. It's just going to be these and then probably an extra Mercy book on top. I might even not bother putting that on. We'll see, because if I want to read it I will. So yeah, we're definitely going with keeping it simple, trying to run down the Kindle Unlimited, and going from there. But yeah, hopefully it should be a good month. As I say, I definitely want to focus on getting more content out. So to that aim, I am planning to film a wrap up from February, either later today or tomorrow. And then have a see. If there's anything that you would definitely like to see from me, please let me know, so I know what to prioritise. I have so many ideas, but indecisive at the moment in terms of what to actually sit down and film. Let me know if you have got any plans for March as well, and I will see you soon. Bye.